Hey guys, it's September 2nd and I thought that I would start a little reading vlog for this month because I have so much to read. I need some sort of motivation to keep me going. I have a lot of books on my TBR for this month, especially for Tales from Two Trails, which is my TBR game that I play. And yeah, firstly, I've got these two massive books on my TBR, which are huge. It is The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow, and also The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, which is book 2 of the Mistborn series. I have started both of these already, but I wanted to tackle them first just because they're so big and intimidating. For me to really crack my original TBR, I'd have to read 110 pages every single day, which is just not feasible for me, because I am a pretty slow reader and I don't really have many of these books on audio. So one of the prompts this month is to read a dystopian book, and I was going to read a physical book for this, but now I'm going to switch to an audiobook that I can get through the library. So I'm going to tackle The Handmaid's Tale this month. I'm really nervous about this because I don't think I'm going to like the subject matter at all. I just feel like I'm not going to like it. I don't know, it's really weird. I put it on my 40 by 40 because I did really want to give it a go. And then I did think that maybe I'd be interested in watching the series if I liked the book. But the more I think about it, the more apprehensive I get about starting it. I just think I'm not going to like it. But, you know, maybe I will be completely wrong. Hopefully I'll be completely wrong. So yeah, I've just got that out of Libby. So I'm going to get that started today and then continue on with these two guys. I'm also listening to my book that I pulled from my TBR jar challenge video as well, which I haven't released yet. It'll be all in one video. So I won't talk about that here, but I do have a couple of hours of that left as well to get to at some point. So yeah, it's busy times. First impressions of The Other Bennett Sister. I literally just finished reading Pride and Prejudice, which was on purpose because I wanted to have that story fresh in my mind when I read this. But in hindsight, I kind of wish I hadn't. If you don't know what this book is following Mary Bennett, who is the middle sister of the 5 Bennett sisters. The other 4 have paired off, so the 2 youngest ones are best friends and the 2 oldest ones are best friends, and she's the middle child and she's on her own. In addition to that is she's not classed a beauty compared to her sisters, so all her sisters are beautiful to the standards of the day and Mary is considered not to be. And she has kind of turned into this very serious, very kind of inward-thinking, melancholy young girl because of that. In the original story of Pride and Prejudice, you don't really get a good impression of Mary. She's hardly in it at all, and when she is in it, she's saying something that's very kind of superior and judgmental and moralistic kind of thing. And so this is the story of Pride and Prejudice through Mary's eyes. I'm glad that I reread Pride and Prejudice before starting this. However, I do think I should have left it a couple of months so it wasn't so fresh in my mind, because I feel like nothing is surprising me in any kind of way. And it is interesting reading from Mary's perspective, and I feel so sorry for her. I really feel for her, and I want people to treat her better, and I want her to think better about herself. So that part of it's really interesting, but I do find I'm just kind of plodding through at the moment and going, okay, this is the next point of the plot and this is what's going to happen. It doesn't feel very surprising, Mary's reactions, if you know what I mean. Although it is interesting, I'm not really compelled to keep reading, which is a shame because it's a long book. So I'm currently on chapter 30, which starts on page 206. So I am 200 pages in and there's 600 odd pages to go, so there's a lot to go. Well of Ascension is book 2 in the Mistborn, like I think I already said, so I can't really talk much about this. And conversely with this one, I read the first book quite a while ago. I don't think it was ages and ages ago, but it was long enough for me to kind of forget stuff. There is a little summary in the back. I haven't read it yet because I think Sanderson is doing quite a good job of recapping stuff to make you remember. So as I'm reading, all the characters are coming back. But essentially you're following Rin, who is this young girl who has grown up in extreme poverty with extreme violence and been mistreated her whole life, even by her brother. And she lives in a world where the Dark Ruler has won. And so, well, he's called the Lord Ruler, and he has been ruling this world for 1,000 years. He's immortal and everybody treats him like God. However, he has enslaved the majority of the population. There are only very select families that are his noble families, and then even more select people who actually are working directly for him, I think, if I remember rightly. And Rin is of the rank of one of the enslaved people. However, she's not enslaved. She's kind of working with groups of thieves. And I remember at the start I wasn't really that into it, but as I went I enjoyed it more and more, and by the end I was really excited. Not much has massively happened yet. It's sort of taking stock of where we are in the story at this point and bringing characters back and introducing you and reminding you who everyone is. I feel like that's kind of the purpose of the little bit of the story we're in at the moment. But I'm on page 60. I read some this morning and I can already feel myself getting back into this world, so I'm excited to carry on with this one. So hopefully I will remember to update you. I'm pretty bad at vlogging, but I will really try to get some like extra B-roll footage as well, and I will be back with updates on these two and also The Handmaid's Tale. Hey guys, it's now the 9th of September, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update as to what's going on. I actually can't remember what I said in my first clip, so this may be completely irrelevant, I don't know. But I have reached part 2 of The Other Bennet Sister, and I'm putting this on hold for a little bit while I concentrate on another book. But yeah, I've got to page 214. I am enjoying this, but I do think actually putting it down and picking up something else might be good, because I think I just read Pride and Prejudice way too soon to picking this up. So I think a little bit of, I don't know, a few days off would be absolutely fine, and I'd probably end up enjoying it more. The Well of Ascension I'm currently reading. I'm reading this as part as Squash That Series readathon, which is like a 24 and 48 hour readathon. And yeah, I'm doing the easy mode, which is to read at least 10 minutes in 24 hours of the 48 of this weekend. The whole point of the readathon is to continue on with a series that you're in the middle of, or, you know, a series that you want to read. And this is book 2 of Mistborn, so this is what I'm planning on getting really far into it this weekend. So I'm currently on I'm on part 3 of this one, which is page 327. So yeah, I'm doing really well, and I'm getting really into this now. Again, like the first one, I was more into it than I was at the start of the first book, but it is taking me time to kind of really care about what's going on again, but now I'm kind of in it and I'm interested in what's happening, which is great. Sorry, the birds outside are like super loud. So yeah, I'm excited to continue this and see how far I can get over the weekend. I've only done 3 hours worth so far, but I've read for 45 minutes within those 3 hours. So even though you only have to read for 10 minutes, I will try and read a little bit more in every hour if I can. So yeah, this is going well. The other readathon that I decided to jump in and participate in this, actually there's 2. So one is Sufferathon Hotel, which is one of the best readathons that I've ever partaken in, ever, on BookTube. And that's because there's a lot of action that goes on in a Discord. We're basically guests that have been invited to Sufferathon Hotel, and there are 4 receptionists, the booktubers who are running the event, and they are, well, they can be pretty mean. If you go in the Discord and say anything positive about what you're doing, then the receptionist can turn on you and make you read things that you don't want to read. So it's a lot of fun, and actually it's kind of tipped my reading upside down a little bit, because I do want to join in with that and play it as much as I can. So in my head, I'm kind of thinking I don't really care about fulfilling my Tales from Two Trails prompts this month. Obviously I do, but I am going to prioritise Sufferathon and just hope for the best. So we'll see how it goes. But the first prompt for check-in week at the hotel was to read a book that is the same genre or has been compared to your lowest rated book in the last 2 years. So my lowest rated book in the last 2 years was Daisy Darker by Alice someone. Oh, I can't remember her full name, but I'll put the thing up here. And yeah, I really didn't get on with this book at all. I didn't like it at all. I gave it 2 stars. I know a lot of people love it, so it's an unpopular opinion, I think. So yeah, this is a thriller, and I don't read a lot of thrillers, and I was kind of scared to pick a thriller up. But I found one on Scribd that was pretty short, and it was My Sister, the Serial Killer. And I ended up really liking this. I thought the narrator was fantastic. I actually did no prep for this clip, so I can't remember who the narrator was, but I'll put her name up here. She was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I loved it. The audiobook is only about 4 hours, so it was really, really short. And it wasn't like scary particularly in any way. It was kind of more, I feel like, a bit of a character study in a way. Maybe not even a character study, just like, this is this really crazy situation. Let's see how it plays out kind of thing. So because it's really short, I won't say too much, but essentially you are following a woman whose sister rings her up and asks her to come and help her because she has stabbed the guy that she's seeing. And so that's kind of how you're introduced to the 2 characters, is them clearing up the crime scene and getting rid of the body and stuff like that. And I'm laughing because it is kind of humorous in parts, but there is also some darkness to it, some more serious undertones going on as well. But I did find it really entertaining, and even though it wasn't massively shocking or like really scary or like edge of the seat stuff, I found it really entertaining throughout, and I really enjoyed it, and I found it interesting and quite captivating all the way through. So yeah, I would recommend it, and I would really recommend that audiobook, in particular that narrator. I think there are other narrators for the book, but yeah, it was good, and I rated that one 4 stars, so it was definitely better than Daisy Darker, so I wasn't mad at that prompt in the end. I was really worried to start with because I'm such a scaredy cat, I don't want to read scary books. So yeah, the challenge that went along with that prompt was that you had to roll a d6, and if you rolled an odd number, you had to read at least 1 hour per day this week, and if you rolled an even number, you had to read at least 2 hours a day this week. Of course, I rolled an even number. This is a little recreated video that I made because the first time I didn't actually press record on my camera, so I recreated it. But I got a 4, so I was having to read 2 hours a day. There was one day where Amy from A Star Reads, one of the receptionists, she enforced an extra 30 minutes. So I think it was yesterday I had to read for 2 hours 30 minutes, which is like quite a long time when you're like forcing it. But it's quite motivational, this challenge, because you have to get up and like actually do your reading, which is good. Like, yeah, so hopefully I'm not gonna get a punishment because I have finished my book. I have managed to do my 2 hours reading. Today I'm gonna do my 2 hours reading because I'm also doing Squash That series, so my 2 hours reading is gonna be no problem at all. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that in the Discord because I feel like then they're gonna up it to like 4 hours or something. So yeah, anyway, we'll see what the next prompt is. It should come either some point today or tomorrow. Like, I think it will come later today maybe. Yeah, so we'll see what that is. I'm excited. It's such a good readathon. Anyway, yeah, those are my updates at the moment, but this will definitely count for my Tales from Two Trails because this will count for fantasy. Although technically I did finish Morrigan Crow within the time span for Tales from Two Trails, so that could count for fantasy. But I really only finished like the last chapter, so I think that's too far. Like, just finishing one chapter, although technically it counts, because I don't have to read a whole book for it to count, it's just when I finish the book it counts. I still think I do have to read actual fantasy this month, so this is going to count for that. Unfortunately, My Sister the Serial Killer doesn't count as horror, so I can't use that. But yeah, we'll just work it out as we go. It's the 9th of September, there's still time, I've got till the 25th, so I'm sure I can fit like stuff in as I go. And I'm kind of enjoying playing it this way, just like seeing how it goes rather than just planning every single book that I read. Anyway, I will go carry on reading this for the day. And oh, I have started listening to The Handmaid's Tale as well, but I'll talk about that in the next clip because my camera is running out of space on the memory card. So I'll talk about that later, but I am listening to that and I can use that for dystopian.
if you ring that bell one more time. Hi! To enjoy our incredibly free breakfast, you need to do two things. First, you need to read a book that looks like or reminds you of your favorite breakfast food. And I don't want to hear about you reading something that is not your favorite. Second, and this is most important, you need to be on time, which we've already established is not your strong suit. So to guarantee that you are on time, because we want to help you, you need to make sure that you read for 30 minutes every morning before you do anything else.
Hi guys, I have some updates for you. So today is the 15th of September, and yeah, I think I'm going to do this clip and then wrap it up and start the next part of September. But yes, I have some updates. Firstly, Sufferathon, I think you would have just seen, because I'm hoping to put a clip in of the next prompt, which was given by Amy from A-Star Reads. The new prompt was to read a book that resembles your favourite breakfast item. And for me, my favourite breakfast item is always coffee. Coffee is the number one go-to in the morning for me. Usually, every now and then I try and wean myself off, but essentially I just love coffee a lot. So I drink it a lot. And so the book that I wanted to try and read for that is A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. And I have actually started listening to this. I'm maybe just about 45 minutes into my listen of this. It's not quite what I'm in the mood for right now, to be honest, but we'll see. I keep trying to truck on and listen to it today and see how I go with it. The challenge, however, that we got at the start of the week was to read for 30 minutes every morning before you do absolutely anything else. Yeah, I did that for 2 days and then I epically failed. And today I went in the Discord and Amy had written, if you've read, what was it, for like at least 4 of the mornings you got up to do your reading, then you're going to be put in like a pile of people, and half the people are going to be picked out to not have to do a punishment for next week. However, I've only done 2 days, so that basically means that I failed. I don't even get a chance to redeem myself in any way. I'm just not a morning person. I basically really easily convince myself in the mornings not to have to do something. So if I wake up, my brain's like, no, you can sleep for another half an hour. Sleep is way better for you. And to be honest, I've been having trouble sleeping anyway, so failed. So with that failure in mind, I might not even read my breakfast book, which is really bad, isn't it? That's really bad. I don't think I get an extra punishment for not doing my breakfast book, my coffee book. The reason I picked this as coffee book actually is there is a little teacup on it. Someone put this in the Discord as one of their options that they were going to use for coffee, but actually like the roads kind of look like hot lines off a coffee as well, so it does kind of look like a cup of coffee. But yeah, part of me is thinking I might not finish this because I listened to it last night and I wasn't really in the mood for it. I don't want to kind of ruin a book or listen to a book that I don't really have to listen to because I've already failed and I'm already going to be punished for it anyway. Do you know what I mean? I may as well wait until I'm in a better mood for it. Yeah, I think I've talked myself out of it. I don't think I'm going to read it. I failed this week. I'm not a morning person. I didn't get up for my breakfast. And this is classic and true to life because so many times I go to hotels and I don't get up for the complimentary breakfast, and then at the end of the week I feel really sad because I've missed out on all those good breakfasts. So the same thing is happening at the Sufferathon Hotel. But good news is I have finished reading The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I listened to this on Libby. Oh, I can't remember. I've been so bad, haven't I, with names of audiobook narrators. But I will put the narrator for the version that I listened to up here. And it was good. It was really good. I really felt like the book was just written really, really well. I can't describe the way she wrote, but I just feel like it was intriguing. It was kind of, it sounded smart, kept my attention gripped the whole way. And I don't want to give anything away if you haven't read it, but there are sections of the book where she tells you something and then she kind of changes what she tells you. And I just thought all of that was just I just thought it was well done. I really liked it. As for the story itself, oh yeah, because I think I said earlier in this vlog that I was worried I was going to hate it. I was really worried that I wasn't going to like it because of the subject matter, and the subject matter did make me feel uncomfortable. If you read The Handmaid's Tale, you've watched it, you probably understand what is uncomfortable about it. The whole premise of it, I don't know how much to say, but this book is set in a dystopian world where the women have zero power, and basically what's happened is fertility has become really difficult, and in order for the best chance to procreate, in their opinion, is to kind of use women in ways that they don't want to be used in order to try and give the best chance of babies being born. That's all I'm going to say. That's a really rubbish way of saying it, but that's kind of what happens. And I think part of the interesting part of the book is finding out how that happens. And it is disturbing in parts, definitely. Definitely gave a lot to think about though. And I do really want to watch the series now because, yeah, reading the book, I can imagine watching the series and then enjoying it, the story continuing on. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do that at some point, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great book, and I do kind of want to get the physical copy because I do feel like I'd want to reread it physically at some point and maybe do some underlining of some quotes and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a success. I enjoyed that. I'm still reading The Well of Ascension. I kind of was a bit tired this week physically reading, so every time I picked it up I was like nodding off. But I'm on page 562 of this guy, so hopefully this weekend I will be able to get this finished, but I will update you in my next vlog. And yeah, oh yeah, so Handmaid's Tale fits dystopian prompt, so that's the first prompt for Tales from Two Trails ticked off for me, so that's good, one step forward at least. That's everything I think at the moment. The next drop for Sufferathon Hotel is going to happen tomorrow, so we get to find out what my punishment is in the next video. And what the next prompt is as well, so that would be good. I would love to know if you're taking part in Sufferathon as well, and yeah, are you over in the Discord? Because I can't always tell who everybody is or if they have a YouTube channel, so yeah, let me know if you're in that Discord and you're suffering like I am. Although I haven't had any extra suffering things going on, so it's not been too bad for me.